Hey y'all, I'm Amy. I'm the owner and therapist of Wild Open Joy, and I wanted to make this video to kind of outline the nuance of the coaching that I am so honored to provide for partnerships because it's a little nuanced and I went to write it out and it ended up being paragraphs and paragraphs and it felt like it was a legal document. I'm like, it's this way, but in the case of this. And so, anyway, I'm a verbal processor. Welcome. Um, I wanted to just let you know what partners this has seemed to work well for, and maybe give you some hope and guidance for if maybe it doesn't quite fit yet or right now, what would fit better. Because we don't want to do hopelessness here, right? We want you to leave feeling like there is healing available to you. So, partnership coaching for me, I have a heart and a passion for partnerships who have done a lot of work, who have maybe done couples therapy, individual therapy, read the books, done the things. For the most part, their partnership feels healthy, connective, loving, um, what we're not looking for, this would not fit for, would not be safe for, doesn't mean that there isn't support and help out there. This space would not quite fit for if there was active abuse happening or some, you know, unseen or unrecognized power over. If in general there's a lack of connectivity, if in the day to day the partnership does not feel safe, feel like the partner, maybe either partner or partners, are not there for one of another, and that there like literally is no benefit of the doubt, where you're like, I do not feel like this person has my best interest at heart. For that sort of situation, couples therapy is best, individual therapy, this, being seen and getting into the weeds of it and providing safety plans and getting into perhaps, some childhood trauma or some patterns of thinking and attachment that have followed through, and needing both partners or more than two partners, right, to come along this journey, and needing a little more. I'm putting this because there's a lot more holding in that space, which there should be. There's nothing wrong with that. Please hear me. I think the worst thing that happens with complex trauma and relationships and loving and raising families is just this isolation and the shame that we don't talk about these things. So if that feels like you and your partnership and you want to work it out and seek help, please do. Please reach out. Um, you know, if you need some resources, I don't mind providing those as well. So let's talk about where I fit in, or where my skills are and my passion. My passion is for those partners. I can only liken it. I've seen this over and over again in my time of working. I've experienced this myself, where perhaps you have some complex trauma that you're coming from, perhaps from childhood, or, some of these patterns, and you've worked on yourself quite a bit. And overall, your partnership, you know, does well in that there's connectivity, there's safety, there's trying for one another. But you have some of these moments or situations, reactions that almost feel outside of yourself. And perhaps the partner who may have a history of this or not, or knowledge, doesn't quite understand trauma responses and reactions, you know, may feel at a loss or isolated. Same thing with the person who is responding or reacting in a way that they're not proud of or don't know what is happening. Usually there's, certain things that do this, or certain patterns. I know for me, once John and I had children, I felt like I was triggered all the time. And then the pandemic happened. We had some health scares. We had some things. And I felt like I was just losing myself. And it was very isolating. We did not know how to connect during that time. And it really sent us on a journey. And for too long, I thought I should know better. I think this coaching style works well for people who maybe, to dispel some of these ideas that were healed or were done. And especially that because this is hard, you don't deserve or not worthy or not good at. For a long time, I hear that. I've thought that myself, and I hear that in clients a ton of like, I'm just not good at this. I'm not good at partnerships. And, here's my clinical term. I love calling bullshit on it. I absolutely love when we get practical and roll up our sleeves and get into some ideas and some practices to change some of these neurological pathways, to have compassion in these partnerships, to offer some ideas and guidance on how these things can alter and change, and how we can move from some of these things being in the dark and shameful into, how do we keep not repeating this? And how do we replace this with connection? It sounds cheesy, y'all, but I love love. One of my favorite things about being a therapist and a coach, I've always loved this, even when I was like a little baby social worker, was when there was something we would discover in sessions, whether that was a new skill or, having a different response or this aha moment, or even these subtleties that didn't feel very sexy or light bulby, but they just helped someone feel normal, or at least have some grace, right? And then people would come back and say, I was talking to my partner about this, or I had my friendship group and in my book club, and I told this other parenting group, and my heart would just, why I love this space or style is, unlike therapy, which can be ongoing, and we need that. We so need that. This is a little different. Could be something really specific, could be a tune-up, could be some coaching for something. It's not quite meant to just be ongoing in that way. And I think that that's lovely, because we're meant to apply it over and over again and then spread it out. That is one of the most gorgeous parts of my work. I actually think it's part of my resistance. Really touches on this consumerism, right? Of like, this is your knowledge and your inner wisdom, and we create that together, right? We create that in partnerships, and it's a great sacred honor to be able to trek alongside partnerships and see this unearthing, unlearning, relearning, moving, believing in this hopefulness that this isn't for other people, it's for y'all. It's possible. Okay, I hope that answered some questions. I'm getting us out of here in less than 8 minutes, so high five. All right, if you want to connect, please, please, please schedule a consultation. Take care.